I don't deserve what you did to me. You kidnapped a child.
And you kidnapped a man.
I'm dancing with the devil.
Hello, Gabrielle. I'm not in the basement anymore.
He escaped. It's my fault.
I have access to everyone and everything you love.
He did it. He took my sister.
I warned you not to end us.
We need to draw him out.
He believes that helping solve our cases is his purpose. He'll re-engage.
You're taking dangerous risks.
I'm dancing with the devil.
You're playing right into his hands.
I know how his mind works. I will find her and finish this. I'm coming for you.
So this question is for all three of the cast. So I want to talk about space and vicarious joy. So one of the main differences between season 2 and season 1 is space, the space that the characters inhabit. For Lacey and Zeke, they're finally inhabiting the same space. You know, she's living with him. She's getting to see how Zeke works behind the camera, so to speak, of the computer. But she's the only person who's really getting to know Zeke, you know, with everything that's happening. Whereas this is the first time she's separated from Lacey. Before, she was in the office with Gabby. You know, Gabby and Lacey were able to inhabit that same space. And I think that there's a tension that creates, because now Gabby doesn't know where Lacey is at all times. She doesn't know how she is at all times. She can't read her visually to see how she's doing. And I want to talk about how these characters are having to inhabit new spaces together as friends and as co-workers, but also how they're having to find joy vicariously through each other and through the cases that they're able to solve, because they have so much trauma. Oh my God, trauma, but they have to be able to find moments of joy, and it's usually through other people. So I want you to talk about space and joy and how these characters have to learn new dynamics of what that means for them individually. We can start with you. We'll start with Arlen, Gabby, and then Shanola.
I'll say, in regards to Zeke and his space and joy, Zeke is very, very happy to have somebody in his space that he has obviously grown to love and care about, and he's been working with for a while now. But now, having someone in the space, especially after what Zeke's been going through from season 2, it's nice. It's me as an actor, it's wonderful to actually be working with people real time with real emotions, tangible. And so both myself and Zeke, I could say that there's a disconnect that you definitely do feel, as much as you want to be part of what's happening on the other side of the camera. When someone does come into your space that brings something special, like Lacey does for Zeke, she brings him a lot of joy and friendship, and that's where a lot of their romantic sparks are starting to fly. You know, it's magical. It's good to have that space by yourself, but it's amazing to have it with, you know, the people that you care about. And in regards to working with the rest of the cast, that's just, it's the best entree on TV that I can imagine. I think we play off of each other well. We respect one another. We have fun together. And then when it's time to work, we get down to it. And you know, I would stack us against anybody else on TV.
Boom.
Love it. Well, we're going to get him out of the house. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to manifest that for season 3. We're going to get Zeke out of the house so he can have more time with us and more fun and all the things. I love that you said finally. You're like, finally, Zeke and Lacey are in that space together. Because there's been something brewing for a while that they had not yet seen. And now, you know, given you watched the last episode, if not, spoiler alert, they've finally decided to cross the threshold, unintended. I think for Lacey, having, you know, been kidnapped again and re-traumatized, finding herself is so important at this time. But of course, she needs to be held and needs the safety of her team and her family. And I think right now, the safest place that she feels is with Zeke. And not that, you know, she doesn't love Gabby and that's not still her sister. Of course she is. Like, she's everything to her. But she's found that she has to find herself apart from Gabby, that she has idolized Gabby and that's been her hero and her sister and everything. But now she's like, where is my voice? Where am I now that I have proven to myself as well that I could beat my boogeyman, so to speak, that I could rescue myself as well. And Lacey finds her joy through like looking to the light and dancing every time. I mean, thank God we find so many people, right? Thank God. But like Lacey wants everyone to just, you know, look on the bright side, to love one another and to dance whenever possible because we deal with so much heavy stuff.
And that's what Lacey's character is. Lacey is the light, much like Gabrielle is. And she's got this purity to her, much like Gabrielle has. So the theme of space, I actually hadn't thought about until you asked the question, but it is a through line in our show. We start off season 2 where Lacey wasn't even in our space because Sir had her. That was a very different dynamic for the team who was already struggling, and having that time apart and then coming together again, but in this new way of where it was so intimate at one point in season 1, and then that intimacy, because the trust was broken, they were in the same room but still so far away from each other trying to solve the cases. And so there was a space thing there. I think Lacey needed to take her space from Gabby. And the reason why is because it's time for her to come into her own. And that's where Zeke comes in, and Zeke allowing her into his space is also a need for him to have that sort of intimacy that's away from the group, but also in his space. So there are a lot of themes like that. And also even right now, Gabby taking space away from Sir and refusing to see him. That's huge. Jamie not wanting to go to the space where we think he grew up with Margaret. So it is a through line in our show. Don and his husband in a separation. There's space there as well. So it really is something that is a central theme in our show, and something, quite honestly, that I never thought about it until you presented the question. So thank you, Smarty.
You're welcome. And you know what? Maybe you guys should have a party at Zeke's place.
Yes, well, we do karaoke
Another
there. You
one.
know, Lacey's always
Another
good for a karaoke.
Not just a karaoke, a sleepover. Have a slumber party, and have like a good old
Everybody.
party, and like everyone
know
shares.
where the
Let's see
Gabby's
what's
gonna sleep on the
upstairs.
couch.
Let's see what's upstairs at Zeke's.
Please, I want to know what's
Upstairs.
upstairs.
That's what I was gonna say.